right, let's move on to number 4, fiscal year 20 proposed budget. Review of the enterprise fund expenditures. And again, this will be the director of finance, PJ.
So,
More stuff, more papers.
more papers for everybody who wants one there.
I love papers,
Yeah.
especially the size of the
This one isn't as long as the last. This time we'll be going over the fiscal year 20 budget for the enterprise funds, electric, water, sewer, solid waste. Oops. All right. So as we go along, feel free to ask questions.
Do you have water?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. The electric, water, sewer, and garbage. As we move forward, feel free to ask questions. Stop me at any time. Going right into the electric department, we're going to look at the budget book. It's on page 454. Overall electric department budget increased to $4,920. Salary and benefits increased $81,995. This includes the 2% merit compensation study phase 2 and the 6.5% estimated increase for insurance. Medical insurance.
When will we get those?
We're hoping to have them anytime.
Okay, thank you.
Operating expense did decrease $11,600, decrease of $10,000 for dues and memberships. Capital expenses increased $487,500. Fiscal year 19 budget did not include many capital expenses for the electric departments. Hoping to try to recover some of those items and start accruing money moving forward. We're going to replace a bucket truck number 344, the 2004 bucket truck. For $210,000, the internal loan for another bucket truck, year 4 to 6, $22,905. That internal loan is actually repaying the electric fund itself. Reconstruction of the fire retention pond for $25,000. Three-phase reclosure for John Marshall Highway, $25,000. Current fund to replace Kendrick Lane transformer, $142,500. That's year 2 of 6. Expensive transformers, so we're going to accrue the money over multiple years to try to alleviate any one-time fees. Expansion of electric service to the Leaf Run Parkway of $125,000. This is a multi-year project. We're expecting that to be about 5 to 6 years.
Are you saying 125 per year?
Yes, sir. Okay. Moving forward here, purchase of electric. Purchase of electric, it does include the deregulation cost. We'll pay to the state of Virginia. And budget is decreased $549,975 compared to fiscal year 19. This is going to be based on the Ohio's forecast for us. Fiscal year 18, we did see a spike, and 19 coming down. It's a little over budget right now for expenses. And, for 20, will come in a little bit lower.
Why do you think it's going to come down all the way?
The purchase of power, the cost of the power.
Coming down?
Yeah, it's my understanding, Dave, Joe.
Yeah, it has to do with some of the contracts we have, where some contracts are coming off and some contracts are starting.
I mean, the block power?
Right, block power. So some contracts are expired, some contracts are starting to activate, so the prices have changed some. So we show a decrease in wholesale power costs next year, and then leveling out thereafter.
Have you talked to them about this wheeling cost? Is that going to continue to rise? Or
That is
come
going to
down?
continue to rise. What we're trying to do right now is secure more power blocks to alleviate the polar vortex. But we're dealing with transmission costs just like every other utility in the business.
But I mean, who is allowing them to raise it at that rate? Is it federal
It's federal.
regulation?
It's the Federal Energy
We
Regulatory
on the
Commission.
state and they're on the feds? 'Cause
Right.
it's-
The transmission system is governed by the FERC, Federal
Yeah.
Energy Regulatory Commission. And so our RTO, which is called a Regional Transmission Operator, is PJM. So they're governed by FERC. And so what they do is they dictate what the congestion charges are due to what projects they have to build on the transmission line and everything else. So everybody has to pay their fair share. So, I mean, there are checks and balances and there is some control, but at the end of the day, the situation is what the situation is, that there needs to be more generation built, there needs to be more transmission line upgrades. And so therefore, those congestion charges are supposed to go back into the wholesale market to fund those projects to produce reliability for the system.
Now, do they have to go through the Federal Regulatory Commission in order to get all that approved? And they got to show why they're raising and all the things that they're planning on doing in the construction industry?
And as a member of AMP, they do have an arm that keeps tabs on them and files petitions on anything that they do, and represents us, as well as APPA, which is American Public Power Association. They represent us as well. They're always involved in it as well, making sure that everything's done above board. But at the end of the day, we just got to try to stay ahead of it.
I mean, the reason I'm saying that is because, so many years ago, so many years it's been here, and all of a sudden it goes way up here.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't understand why it wouldn't have gradually come up instead of...
Well, some of it went gradually, but also when you look at our situation, some of our wholesale power, base power, our power component has increased some. Obviously because the market has shifted now. So between that and along with the congestion charges, like I said, everybody's dealing with it. And
Meter reading electric, overall increase of $2,170. Salary and benefits increase of $1,570. Includes the merit, the compensation study, and the insurance increase as well. Operating expenses did increase $600, includes the additional $300 for the service contract and $300 for POF patrol. Water administration. Overall increase of $4,985. Salary and benefits increased $5,485. Includes merit, compensation study, and insurance increase. Operating expense decreased $500. Sewer administration, overall increase of $4,080. Salaries and benefits increase of $4,830. Merit, compensation study, and insurance increase. Operating expense decrease of $750. Water plant, overall increase of $121,155. Salaries and benefits increase to $20,155. Includes the merit, compensation study, and insurance. Operating expenses decreased $14,000. Decrease of $18,000 for professional services. So the difference is fiscal year 19 professional service included $100,000 for study design and screens for DEQ regulations, and $18,000 for the Virginia State Health Department fee. This fiscal year 20 proposed budget includes $50,000 for a backflow compliance program, $30,000 for clear well inspections, and $20,000 for the Virginia State Health Department fees. We also created a separate line item for chemicals. We did this under the water plant and wastewater treatment plant, so we would better get a handle on exactly what we're spending for chemicals. Previously, we expensed those under other operating expenses, so it's just been reallocated as far as the water plant is concerned. Capital expenses did increase $115,000, include accruing money to replace one of the raw water pumps, year 1 of 3, $75,000, and $40,000 for dessert pump control valve, if I'm saying that right, replacement and repair.
Is that a tax? Yeah.
Yes. I didn't know
How do
exactly
you
where
think
it
you
was.
did?
I couldn't hear
But
my
you know how to
book.
pronounce it. But you know how to pronounce it.
I messed up like I did Monday night at that thing that he had in there.
Sir Gerard.
All right, moving on here. Wastewater treatment plant, overall increase of $850,139. Salaries and benefits decreased $17,000, $17,410 due to the retirement of a senior employee. It does include the merit compensation and insurance amounts. Operating expense increased to $824,550. Maintenance service contract increased $22,800 for the maintenance of one new equipment. Lab testing did increase $25,600. The kits are more expensive, from what I understand, for the testing that they have to do now. Electrical service increased $90,000. That includes for the rate increase and also the full operation of this new plant. We're doing a good handling what the operational cost is for. Chemicals placed under a separate line item. The chemicals did increase $685,000. We hope that will go down in the future as our I&I is under control.
I do want to make a statement on that. We are going to look at that very hard. I'm going to get with Timmy on this and Robbie to figure out, because I did not anticipate chemicals being that much for this new plant. And I know some of it has to do with our I&I, but we've got to figure out a better solution. That's an enormous amount of an expense item.
Capital expenses increased $43,000. That includes equalization basin blowers, $70,000, and the purchase of a fork truck for $33,000.
Can I ask a question on that, Joe? Talking about these blowers, were they all replaced when we did the expansion?
I don't think some of them were, and I can't speak on it specifically. Do you know, Robbie?
There were some down the bottom of it.
Some of the basins at the bottom weren't, and I don't know who made that decision at that moment not to replace them, but unless they were determined at the time when we did the plant design that they were adequate, and now,
Now they're inadequate.
now Timmy's requesting replacements.
How many are there?
2 or 3, I can double check.
Oh, I just want to know how many.
I know they were not replaced because I'd asked Timmy during our budget meeting.
I mean, it's kind of redundant to spend $48 million, and now we got to replace blowers within 6 months after we open.
Water line maintenance, overall increase of $61,570. Salaries and benefits increased $11,645. Engineer compensation study and medical insurance. Operating expense decrease of $21,075. The decrease of professional services by $20,000 for leak detection. We had some money this year for it, so hopefully next year we'll be back a little bit. Capital expense decreased to $129,500, and it does include the replacement valve turning machine for $50,000, a dump trailer, which is split between water and sewer line maintenance, $5,000 in the water line maintenance for a total project cost of $10,000. Jackhammer for a backhoe, $11,500, which is split with sewer line maintenance for a total cost of $23,000. Message board, $7,500, split with sewer line maintenance for a total cost of $15,000. Water line upgrade, $537,000, which includes the water line upgrade that's corresponding with paving plan, and then capital inventory of $250,000. Sewer line maintenance overall decrease of $48,055. Salaries and benefits increased $11,645. Includes the marriage compensation study and medical insurance. Operating expense decreased by $700. $700 for furniture and fixtures. Capital expenses decreased $59,000 and does include the dump trailer, jackhammer, and message board, and the same as in the water sewer line maintenance there. Capital sewer inventory is $25,000, and we've allocated $462,000 for our I&I.
And that's pretty normal, right? I mean, what did
Yes.
we last year?
That's been pretty normal. Years ago, we did allocate quite a bit more, but moving forward, that's kind of a standard amount we get.
Hey, Joe, I have a question. When are you going to start on this new I&I program?
We actually moved in the next 60, 80 days. We're going to have a bunch of bids go out for a bunch of work. So
We've got the bids out now?
no, we're getting ready to put them out hopefully the next 60, 80 days.
Is that including manhole right?
And we actually got one manhole bid that closed maybe 20 days ago.
It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? I was talking to the person in charge over at Frederick County's sewer and sanitation.
Right.
And, yeah, and they were telling me that there's a new way they're doing that. I just wonder if anybody's come and talked to you about it, as far as the manhole rehab.
I call that too.
I didn't talk to him first. I talked to the woman that's in the office, because I know she lives here in Middle County. And she was telling me that they're getting ready to begin a new manhole rehab, and they're using this new process. I don't know what it is. She didn't know for sure either.
I've heard there's a couple of them. Yeah, I know Rocky. I'll call him and see what they're called.
Move along here. Meter reading water, overall increase of $41,696. Salaries and benefits increase of $1,570. Merit compensation study insurance. Operating expense increase $200. Capital expense increase of $40,000. That includes the AMI radio water meters, $460,000. This should be the final year funding for the project. So that was to have those throughout town, hopefully. Water and sewer debt service. Sewer debt service increased $1,805. Water debt service increased $12,555. The debt service can vary based on sequestration and federal subsidies. Fiscal year 20 includes $103,500 in the water enterprise for possible debt service on the loop project. Just to review a little bit, fiscal year 18 and 19 both included the $103,500. If we carry everything forward, the carry forward fund will be $206,000 plus fiscal year 20 funds will give us a total of $309,000 for the looping project. We decided to move forward with that. Solid waste. Overall decrease of $10,970. Salaries and benefits increased $10,405. Includes merit and the insurance increase. Operating expense decreased $41,950. Professional service line item was removed, which was $25,000. We previously budgeted to outsource the tub grinding services, so we're now keeping that in-house. Decreased expense for the Warren County tipping fees due to less commercial customers of $5,000. Decreased auto maintenance by $15,000. Reinstated line item for the tub grinder maintenance for $7,000, just for keeping that in-house. Capital expenses increased $10,575. And includes payment for the internal loan to the water fund for the purchase of a refuge truck, $34,885. That's payment 3 of 4. Payment for the external loan for the purchase of a refuge truck at $39,240. That's payment 2 of 5. Replacement of the recycle trailer number 695 for $48,000. And dumpster enclosure for Paper Street parking lot of $8,000.
Again, can I ask a question? Going back to that tub grinder, I thought we did away with that tub grinder.
No, actually, I had a good conversation with Don, fleet manager, and he recommended not getting rid of that tub grinder. He said we wouldn't get any money for it, and he said it was actually after they put all that money in there and got it fixed up, he said it runs tip-top. He said his only issue and concern was that it needs to be operated periodically to keep everything. And so really at the end of the day, we realized that we were going to be spending more money outsourcing it when we already had a piece of equipment. We just had to change our operating procedures. And so, you know, once I got Don involved in it and got what we really need to do, I think
I just want to make sure that, knowing that's one of the worst piece of equipment we got, in my opinion, because it's a waste of good money. But since we have it, we need to use it. But when it gets to the point where the tub grinder needs a major replacement, I think we need to get rid of it and go back to bringing people in and doing it so many times a year, because that tub grinder, we have spent, I hate to say how many thousands and thousands we spent on that thing since we bought it. And I want to make sure that we don't continue to throw good money away for bad money. When we get to this point, I want to make sure that you let us know that it's not worth repairing, so that we can go and get rid of it and actually go to some type of contract with somebody that can come in here and grind that for us without going through that process. that cuts out two things, cuts out the person operation, the tub grinder, plus, maybe some other things that we could also reduce as well, by not having somebody that has to be right there running the tub grinder periodically.
How often do we use that, Judge?
The post usually at least once a week, but I don't actually know the actual specifics on
Well,
that.
that-
I'll get back to you.
That's
on
where
that.
the problem is, it's not being used enough, it's just sits there and just
That's a dumb
deteriorates.
question. What is a tub grinder? I've never, no experience with
You
that.
put the brush in, it goes over to the top of the hill,
Okay,
and it goes in and it grinds
right,
up into the
okay.
wall.
It's not something up there presently.
Yes.
Is it? It's back again? It was down at the bottom of the hill.
Oh, I don't know, I haven't been on this before.
That's a tub grinder.
Okay.
You and I was on council when we approved the drug tub grinder.
No, we didn't, you may have, I voted yes. Because I know how much expense they are, but we had them in the past.
All right, I'll take it. But anyway, it was a good deal back then, so
I have three questions, if I can go first.
well, let's make sure he's finished with his
Yeah,
presentation.
actually,
That was the last
yeah,
page, I think.
yeah, it was.
First thing, the first question I'd like to have, I'd like to know how much money that these salaries is gonna be from last year's salary. That would include the 2% merit or whatever amount of money, how much we spent last year for the whole town, and how much we're gonna spend this year for the whole town. The second thing I wanna know is how much we spent last year for our medical insurance, and how much are we anticipating with the 6.7% increase? Difference between that 1.8 million, I believe, last year, somewhere in that range, and how much it's gonna be this year with the 6.7% increase.
Yes, sir.
PJ, can I get to the,
Yeah, on the healthcare, we haven't got the final numbers
I
yet.
know, I said,
And
that's what I wanna know.
yeah, and we plan to come back to council to discuss the healthcare in depth when we get that new rate change. We plan to come to council and discuss it in detail.
But I know Jake asked that question.
Right, Jake asked
last
about the
meeting.
250 plan, and so once we get the final numbers, yeah, we're gonna hopefully come back in 2 weeks to council and we'll talk about it.
anything else, Gene?
No,
Anybody else? Bill?
How did you arrive at 6.5 for budgeting purposes? Because last year was only like 2 or 3%.
Yeah, last year. I honestly, I got that number from HR, and they have a pulse on what the environment is. I mean, last year we lucked out. Ours was less than 3% when everybody around us were double digits.
Yeah.
So we lucked out, but then again, we'll just have to wait and see this year. But
And it
that was
could
an
be more.
estimate. It could be more than 6.5,
Just have to plug in some type of number to move forward with the number.
That's why I asked how you arrived at that. 'Cause
My staff did that number, okay.
Anybody else? Thank you, BJ.